5, 4, 3, 2, 1,
Manchester United have
0.
reached the promised land.
Well, good morning, everybody. How are we all doing? Sam here, live, United People's TV. You know the drill by now. I'm here at 9:33 every morning, and we're here to talk about Jesus. It's been a quiet week at Manchester United, isn't it? Not really too much to talk about. No, we're here in what feels like Big Brother, like D5 of the Ronaldo story. Piers Morgan's finally released part 1 of the interview. That was a terrible accent. I'm sorry about that. I just had it in my head, so I wanted to get it out. Yeah, Piers Morgan's been drip feeding it to us. And yeah, we're interested to find out what the full interview is. And the second part of the interview is coming tonight at 8 p.m. And I'll be completely honest, it feels like everything's been geared towards this second half in terms of what's been said, what hasn't been said. But what I want to focus on today is not speaking about the part 1 yesterday. I already did my reaction last night. If you want to see what I thought about it, I spoke about it in detail in that. What I want to speak about in this video is what is Manchester United's legal standpoint? What is going to happen next? Because will we be able to legally terminate his contract? Is he in breach of contract, or is this gross misconduct? That's a big definition that's quite important. And I'm going to run through it. An article from The Athletic this morning. We're going to speak about Toney, who's been charged, I think, by the FA for 232 alleged breaches of betting. I'm going to run through that. Today's Friday, because I'm not here tomorrow. We're going to have it. It's going to be a cracking stream. It's going to be a live sweepstakes draw. World Cup. 32 of you sent me £5, and we're going to do a big draw. Who gets who? We'll run through that later in the show. We're going to bring up the map. I'm going to have a big old discussion. Who's down here in the comments? Let's see down there. Ferdinand, I can see there. Hooligan. Nick Albany, how you doing, buddy? Angela, Alex, how you doing, man? Anthony, Daisy, Shubham, Josh, Carl, Al, Paula. Who's on Facebook? Josh Peace, how you doing, buddy? You're saying, look, stayed up. Go on, mate. Let's get this one on. Steve, I can see you there. Michael, March. There's lots of you joining in, as always. But good morning to every single one of you. Now, if I was going to give like a 30 to a 60-second roundup of everything I said last night, the first thing I said in my full reaction was, I found it a bit. Piers Morgan is a master of his craft, and if you don't know, right, from a legal standpoint, if you're in a court, lawyers aren't allowed to use. They're called leading questions. Now, a leading question is it's not like you ask somebody a direct question. It's you infer something by saying, for example, Piers Morgan could have said to Ronaldo, what's your relationship like with Wayne Rooney? Normal question. A leading question. Oh, Rooney's been criticising you a lot. It's a bit strange, isn't it? Leading question. Because it takes the answer down a path that Piers Morgan wants it to go down. That's what a leading question is. And Piers Morgan is an absolute bastard at doing it because he's very, very good. So much so that you can't even criticize him. I call it as a success getting blocked by Piers Morgan on Twitter. Anybody who does get blocked by Piers Morgan, you're saying the right things and you're doing the right stuff. But yeah, I didn't know whether to say that. Did Ronaldo really understand that he was getting leading questions? And then I'm thinking, dude, man, Ronaldo's been in the game for like 20 odd years. He knows what's going on, surely. But yeah, that was one of my main takeaways from the beginning of the interview, and it kind of lasted the whole interview, really. And then, yeah, I've had to defend myself when I've criticized Ronaldo so much. But this is the ultimate truth. Maybe not the ultimate truth, but one of my biggest takeaways from that interview. Ronaldo keeps talking about himself as an example for others. But he said that whilst being interviewed by Piers Morgan without the club's knowledge, in a season where he's walked out of the stadium twice and refused to come on as a substitute when asked by his manager. Is that the example you really want to be? No, don't think it is. And it puts Manchester United in this extremely tricky, and it is, honestly, and I keep saying this is something that we're going to look back on in years to come and go, I cannot believe that happened. I cannot believe it. And it feels unprecedented. I think it has to be unprecedented on the scale of it because of the name of Ronaldo and how big he is. And as I said, it puts Manchester United in this between a rock and a hard place in terms of what to do next. Now, Charlotte Dunkirk from the Times released this article yesterday saying, look, Manchester United players, they firmly believe that Ronaldo should not play for the club again. Saying Manchester United players believe Ronaldo should not play for the club again and do not expect him to return after the World Cup. The Times understands that the majority of the club's playing staff do not expect him to be back in the squad. Talking about Ten Hag taking a strong stance on discipline. And I'll be extremely, extremely surprised if he does come back into the squad. At least not because it's basically impossible. Given how Ten Hag has been operating as manager, right? Let's bring this picture up. Ten Hag has been leading a line of discipline. It started in pre-season. Started with a player turned up late. We can all make assumptions as to whether or not that was Garnacho, but that's just an assumption. Whoever that player that was late was kicked out of the squad. Didn't play too much in the pre-season tour. Harry Maguire was dropped as captain. Then Scott McTominay was dropped after some poor performances. So was Tyrell Malacia, despite us winning 4 games in a row. Every single player has had that same sort of discipline given to them. So the idea, it's quite literally impossible for Ronaldo to come back and play for the club. Because if he does, then everything that Ten Hag's been working towards in terms of discipline, it's all completely and utterly undermined. And Ten Hag will lose all power in that dressing room. So at this point, it has to be either Ronaldo leaves or Ten Hag leaves. And Ten Hag's not leaving. So Ronaldo is leaving. But the manner of how he leaves, that's the talking point today that I really want to focus on. Because I think it's trickier than it might seem to us from the outside looking in, from a legal standpoint anyway. Ronaldo knew exactly what he was doing. Morgan must have been creaming his mate. Morgan. It won't ever sit right with me, the fact that he did that interview with Piers Morgan. And Jonathan, yeah, it's completely what I think it is. Ronaldo knew exactly what he was doing. And he knew that the biggest platform to do that on was with Piers Morgan. And he didn't really care about the moral implications of it all. It didn't care. It didn't matter. It mattered that it got heard by the most people possible. And right, so far, and this is something I said that I was really interested to find out during this interview. I said, is it genuinely possible for Ronaldo to speak for 90 minutes without at any point saying, yeah, I'm struggling a little bit. I'm not quite the player I was. I've had a tough year. I know my performances haven't been up to that standard. And 45 minutes into it, no. Because it's a one-way interview. It's not an interview where you're trying to get the full scope of the picture. It's an interview designed for one thing and one thing only, and that's what Ronaldo wants to come out. So I actually think we'll go through a full 90 minutes interview without Ronaldo at any point saying, you know what? Yeah, I've been quite poor this season. And that's absolute madness. That really is. I'm going to read a few of your comments out down here before we then dive into this article from The Athletic, which I think is an important talking point to have this morning. Ian, you're saying, look, I've said it before and I stand by it. If he doesn't leave, remove him from the first team dressing room, make him train alone. At that point, you would imagine United could go down that path, right? Realistically, they won't, but it's technically an option. We could just say, you know what? We're that pissed off with Ronaldo. We're not going to terminate his contract. We're not going to talk about anything. We're just going to boot him out and just make him train on his own for the next 4, 5, 6 months. And force it then on him to walk away from his contract. You could technically do that. Nadir, look, man, it's been eye-opening, I think, is the best way to describe it. The sheer amount of people still, even to my video, my reaction to the Ronaldo interview yesterday. Wow. Just tons of people up in the comments still defending Ronaldo. I'm like, geez, man. He got you good. He got you real good. Um, what are you saying down here? All he said was correct around the club. We already know, but it's the attacks on the managers that have ruffled supporters. It's not just the attack on Ten Hag, although let's be honest, it's probably the worst part of this. It's just that it all feels. It's like, look, even Ronaldo's comments on the Glazers. Okay. They were powerful. Yes. Did he say that because he cares about Manchester United? No. He said that because he wants to get sacked. And let's be honest, like, current players don't speak out about the Glazers. It's not just Ronaldo. It's every single player. Like Solskjaer never really spoke out about the Glazers. I think until after. Gary Neville's starting to do it now. No current player has come out and you wouldn't. They're your bosses. Why the fuck would you do that? So to try and there's some people like, oh, just ignore everything he said. He's spoken out about against the Glazers. Yeah, he has, but he's not done it because he cares about Manchester United people. Can you not see that? It's exhausting. And Ricardo, I like to think that I've been pretty consistent throughout this whole time with Ronaldo, months ago to now. So I like to think I haven't been a hypocrite, but if you think so, well, you're entitled to your opinion. What else are you saying down here? What 3 questions would I have asked Ronaldo? Jeez, I've no idea off the top of my head. I've no idea off the top of my head. It's a tough one. Ross, this is a massive non-story, man. Sky Sports were trying it yesterday. Talk about shit journalism. There was a huge mural removed from outside Old Trafford because isn't there like a Rugby League World Cup? There's a Rugby League, I think, World Cup final. Rugby League World Cup. Anyway, there's some rugby going on. There's something else going up. Weird. Really, really weird. There's nothing to do with that. Alex, you asked earlier whether or not I'll be doing a video tonight, and yeah, I will do a video after the second part of it as well. Strange. Honestly, it's strange that people think this is important. That people are trying to take away from. Yeah, it's fine. If you want to go down that route, dude, you can go down that route, but you can just get off the channel because you're not here to try and have a conversation whatsoever. And if you think it affects me at all, you're doing that, dude. Come on, I've been here on the internet for long enough, and I've got a thick enough skin. Jeez, don't waste your time. Nick, you're saying that the number of that was weird, man. That was really strange. That was the oddest part of the interview for me, part 1. They were there just like waxing. Oh, I've got 2 million followers on Twitter, no, 2 million on Instagram, but I've got 8 million on Twitter. Catching up with you. You got 495 million. How does it feel to be the most followed? It was weird. It was weird. Shit, I've started talking about it again. My bad. Look, let's move on to what I think is a really important talking point, and that's this, because this unfortunately, this is far from done. Not only for the fact that the full interview is not out, it's coming out. It's coming out tonight, and by the end of tonight, look, it's done. It's dusted. But that's Ronaldo's side of it. What has the club got to do next, and what can the club do next? This, I think, is right now. This is the most prevalent and important talking point. How do United react to this? And I don't really know. And that's why I'm putting up this article here from The Athletic, because they've got a couple of sports lawyers in to give not just opinion on the situation, but speaking from a legal perspective, what can United do and what can't United do, and what are the next steps that will be taken. Let's run through this article together. Hooligan is saying, surely by Saturday it's over. I mean, in terms of Ronaldo saying what he wants to say, yes. But my gut instinct is telling me, my initial reaction was like, I kind of, because I'm going away Friday and Saturday, I'm back Sunday. Big up Alex. Going for a stag. Just let you know. Not just bigging up at Alex. Anyway, I thought, my immediate reaction was like, surely United are just going to immediately terminate that contract. But I think it's going to be a little bit more nuanced than that, a little bit more difficult. Estevo saying, I disagree with Eric, with what he said about Eric Ten Hag. Yes, I feel he's well within his rights to vent the other frustrations. The other tidbits were Piers Morgan and leading him on. Kind of a lot of what he said yesterday. You'd be like, oh, yeah, kind of fair enough. And especially the bit on the not especially the bit on the youngsters, but there was a part when he was speaking about youngsters, and I said, yeah, it's something that I've kind of felt for a long time. But look, let's go down here. And Andrew, this is effectively the question that needs to be asked. Is this gross misconduct? We go through here, and this is important, right? All top flight players sign a Premier League employment contract with their clubs. Now, I'm going to presume that this is a bit of a presumption, but given that the Athletic are a sort of a well-renowned establishment, I imagine they've seen one of these contracts, so they know full well what Premier League players do and don't sign, right? And it says this: under that agreement, they are obliged to comply with and act in accordance with all lawful instructions of any authorized official of the club, and are not allowed to write or say anything which is likely to bring the club into disrepute or cause damage to the club. Which we can, I'm going to say it again, unequivocally, we can absolutely say Ronaldo has done with this interview. He has damaged the club. He has damaged the club's reputation. He has damaged quite a bit with this interview. And this is where we dive in and we try and understand it a little bit more. Look, there you go. You've got Jamie Singer, a partner at sports law specialist Onside Law, feels that Ronaldo may already be in breach of his standard contract. Under the contract, there's that specific provision that talks about not saying anything which brings the club into disrepute. And the content of the interview immediately puts him in breach. Now, this is the thing, right? You can get a breach of contract and you can get gross misconduct. A breach of contract normally leads to a fine. Like Ronaldo walking out. Right, Ronaldo not coming on when Ten Hag told him to come on and walking out of the stadium. Breach of contract, given a fine, punished, kicked out of the squad, came back in. That's a breach of contract. Gross misconduct is the level above. And this is where United are currently waiting for the full interview to find out whether or not they'll be able to use that, not use that against that, but be able to terminate the contract on grounds of gross misconduct. You're saying it's not gross misconduct. Look, this is the question that we're asking now. So we go over here and we read this part. If it is serious, or the player, so in terms of what the next process is, and they talked about the Lukaku situation. You know what happened there? He did that interview with Sky, I think it was. Then he ended up on loan at Inter Milan. So look, if it's serious or the player disagrees with the fact that you are putting disciplinary procedures against him, you go into the disciplinary procedure where the player has the opportunity to defend themselves. The club will say what it is they think he's done wrong. He can argue he doesn't think he's done any wrong. And then it goes up to the board of the club to decide what the penalty should be. Well, if it goes up to the board, he's already slagged the Glazers as well. So I don't exactly think they're going to be too sympathetic towards him. In this situation, it would be an internal hearing and potentially get to a situation where he's committed gross misconduct and they can terminate the contract. Or if they believe there's so much there, they could shortcut it and say they don't need a disciplinary process. They might argue it's so clear and obvious it's gross misconduct and they go straight for termination with a 14-day notice. And this is what Manchester United are currently doing. Man United are currently waiting for this full interview to come out before they decide whether or not there are enough grounds to terminate the contract for gross misconduct. Now, if that happens, Ronaldo will have a right to respond. Naturally, that's what happens in a justice system. And given what he said about the club in terms of, especially to do with his baby son, when Ronaldo has said that the club didn't empathize with me, they didn't even believe me. He went after, the president, he said, which presumably is Richard Arnold, because we don't have a president. I think he means Richard Arnold. So if he feels that strongly about it, you would imagine that Ronaldo would contest this. And if he contests this, it takes it into a bit of a public process. Right? Let me see what else you're saying down here. Interviews not gross misconduct. Ronaldo's so full of himself. It's not for us to decide whether it's gross misconduct or not. Gross misconduct, dude. You're very, very limited here when you're saying gross misconduct is things like that. Cool, they have two particular definitions. If there weren't enough, if Manchester United weren't even considering the option of gross misconduct, we probably already have a statement out now that he's just in breach of contract. This is exactly what's going on next. But in terms of what will go on next, I thought this part was interesting. Simon Leaf here, head of sport at law firm Misconduct, believes that settling the matter privately could be the best scenario here. And I want to read what he wrote. He said, the club are caught between a rock and a hard place. A termination right is subject to Ronaldo's right to appeal, especially as he seems to be suggesting, exactly what I was saying there, seems to be suggesting that United are in breach of its own duties to take reasonable steps to protect the health of its employees. There is no easy answer to this particular legal wrangle. And from experience, one suspects that given the sums involved, both Ronaldo and the club will now try to resolve issues as amicably as possible. I imagine this is what's going to happen. My immediate gut instinct was that, well, Man United are just going to terminate his contract, surely. But having sort of read that, having sort of understood, and having seen everything that's come out, it feels like it's probably going to end up with a mutual agreement. And I imagine the definition of it won't really go past that. Effectively, a mutual agreement of termination would be the same thing, right? It would effectively be Manchester United terminating his contract. But it wouldn't be pointing the finger. It will be like going through a divorce where it's a divorce where both parties agree that the marriage would be, that there's not one person at fault for it. It's both together. And I imagine that's probably where this Ronaldo situation is going to go. I'm going to go up here because I think there's... Whoa. Sorry about that. I think we've had a little Santa in the comments. Yeah, of course we have, man. It's Sarthak. Sarthak, man. Is it Sarthak? Yeah, it is. Sarthak. You're absolute Don, as always. Every day, man. Every day. You're incredible. Omar, you're lucky enough to get one. Dan Yalla, Stephen Morrison, Ayush, Ragesh, Darren Bradley, Mark Byrek, Ultimate Deadpool, James Tossin, and Sahib Dinsa. Man, you all lucky gents. Or ladies, I don't know. But look, it's a very, very tricky situation. My gut instinct as to what's going to come from this is a termination on mutual grounds. Manchester United will probably agree to a certain amount of payoff. Ronaldo will agree that there'll be a compromise in the middle. It won't come out as a definition of gross misconduct. It won't come out as a definition of sacking. It won't go anything. It will just be a mutual termination of contract. That's what I think. I don't think it will be taken public. I don't think Manchester United will probably come out and say that Ronaldo has done gross misconduct, even if they think he has, because then it will take it to a sort of public standpoint. And Ronaldo, it would then be Ronaldo taking the club to court. It doesn't really strike me as it's not the smartest play. It's not the right play. I don't think that's the right thing to do. And I don't think Manchester United will do that. But I suppose we'll find out in the goodness of time, won't we? I think Alex is that. Alex, are you joining in as well? He is. Alex is joining in. We need a better. We've got Warren G. Alex can't be Alex G. He's got to have a better nickname than that. But Alex, you just gifted 5 as well. Sporting Future, Liam Cross, Anime God, Scott Ashworth, and Wajero. You're the lucky 5 there. Wow. Look, Josh, you're saying that Ronaldo shouldn't get a payout. There's going to be effectively right here, Andrew. There's quite a few of you saying that you're annoyed that he's going to get a payout. Man United are in a shit situation. The possible conclusions for this are Ronaldo stays at the club. I mean, that's just not possible. That would cause all sorts of toxicity and craziness at the club. So that's realistically not an option. Number 2, Manchester United, what? Put him, just keep him there, put him to train with the kids. That's just going to drag out, and that will be ugly as hell. There will be that will just cause more problems. So I don't think that will happen either. Manchester United could sack Ronaldo for gross misconduct. And I very much doubt that Ronaldo would accept that. Given the fact he's done his interview already, I think we've seen that Ronaldo is very much interested in protecting his own image, and that comes as no surprise. So there's no way that Ronaldo would accept a charge of gross misconduct without challenging it. Therefore, that would be Ronaldo taking Manchester United to court. And that's not something the club will want. So when you go down there, the only way that Man United get around this situation is finding a compromise on that termination. Now, whether that's agreeing to pay 2 months worth of the wages, whether that's agreeing to pay 3 months worth, I don't know what that would be. But that's, for me, what it feels like the best case scenario for United is in this situation. A mutual agreement, and it goes no further than that. Both the club and Ronaldo will probably sign an NDA on that, a non-disclosure agreement, which means they can't really speak about it in public, not at least for the... normally, NDAs have got a time limit on them. Like Van Gaal signed an NDA when he was sacked as manager, and he couldn't speak for a couple of years. I imagine that's probably the best case scenario. In all of this shit situation, that's probably the best situation we can hope for. But it's going to be interesting to see how Manchester United do deal with it, because I'm not making assumptions here. I'm making sort of predictions. What my gut instinct is telling me I think will happen. But we'll find out, well, after the interview's all out in full. Pranav, if I go and abuse my boss in open press tomorrow, no matter what my contract is, I'm going to get booted with no pay. Why is that not possible here? Pranav, it's because of the accusations that are coming the other way. If you go and abuse your boss tomorrow, but you've also got accusations of misconduct by your boss against you and other employees, it's a two-way street. Your boss wouldn't just be able to sack you because he would know that something would come back on him or her. So it wouldn't be as straightforward, and that's why this isn't as straightforward. Whether you like it or not, labour laws protect the employee, not the employer. Nothing will happen besides him moving on in January. I think you're wrong, Estevo. Let's find out. Again, that's just down to sort of, I suppose, what our gut instincts are saying. Mate, Ricky's down here as well. Woo! Ricky, you're gifting 10, mate. Today is a Friday vibe, by the way. We've got some good stuff left in the show. And Ricky, you ledge. Who's down here? Greg, every day. It blows my mind. I've been planning it now. I'll let you know. I'm going to be doing... let's get Ronaldo off the screen. Sod that. I'm going to be doing an advent calendar giveaway. Every single day in December, I'm going to be doing a giveaway here on United People's TV. Like this. This is one of the giveaways. Stan Chow. I've got a new Stan Chow print down there that I'm not going to show you until I'm back. But Stan kindly included 3 of these. So this is the Govan Boy, which is a poem written for Sir Alex Ferguson. This is a print, a George Best print there. That's wicked. And this one here, oh, this is the 98-99 treble winning team. Look at that. Wicked. So all 3 of those, they're going to be one of the giveaways on one day of the advent calendar. So it's going to be a full month of giveaways. It's going to be fun. So you make sure you subscribe to United People's TV if you're not a member of the channel. And yeah, look, all of you keep giving and donating to the community. I'm definitely doing some big giveaways throughout December. So make sure you become part of it. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say on the Ronaldo situation. I'm really, really interested to see what United's take is and what our next steps are with whether or not we're going to terminate or anything else. We can all make our presumptions, assumptions, and guesses. And I'm not saying here that I'm coming with any sort of mega knowledge. That's what my gut instinct is telling me, that there'll be somewhere in the middle. There'll be a compromise. There'll be a mutual termination. Let's see if I'm right. Nick, you're saying the people on his channel are surely, mate. Nick, it blows my mind, man. It really, really does. That you couldn't give a better compliment to the community than the generosity that keeps coming through. And that's why I'm going to make sure that throughout December, I give that generosity back. It's going to be the holiday season. Call it what you want. And I'm going to do a giveaway every single day in December in the build up to Christmas. Yeah, there is. Absolutely. Well, maybe not the best bit that we can discuss, but this was a bit of a curveball. This happened to me. We spoke about Ivan Toney yesterday, and I sort of said that he was one of those players that I would want Manchester United to be looking at for January. Yeah, he's been charged by the FA for allegedly breaching betting rules on 232 occasions. Now, this is at this point, it's a charge and it's alleged. 232 is quite a few. Now, you'll remember that Daniel Sturridge was given a worldwide football ban for 4 months. And I believe that was something that was quite deep. I think that was to do with a transfer that might be happening and whether he might have had inside information on that. So I don't know whether this is going to be Ivan Toney getting an absolutely huge ban, but it certainly puts a question mark above Toney. And I think the more important question is, how many of those bets did he win? Winning the Accas? What's your return rate? No, I'm joking. But I think it does certainly put some question marks over Ivan Toney. And maybe Gareth Southgate knew about that. Maybe, right? But I think it's something interesting and worth considering. Couple of super chats there. What are you saying, Patrick? Hey mate, who do you think would want to sign Ronaldo now? Patrick, and I say this with every single, I do not give a toss what happens to Ronaldo after he leaves the club. I couldn't care less, and I won't be speaking about it on the channel. I really, really do not care, and I'm going to be happy once that situation is done. Jeez, I remember that Joe Barton. That is a lot of betting. But look, this is the fun part of the show. I think so anyway. Because it's mad, isn't it? It's the World Cup in 3 days. Marcus Rashford's there. Got a picture of Hannibal there. And what I was going to do here is run through a quick who's who of what United players are involved in the World Cup. And then we're doing the World Cup sweepstake live draw here on United People's TV. It's going to be good. I hope I get Brazil. I have no idea who's going to get who. But I'll let you know the rules of the sweepstake, the prizes for the sweepstake. It's coming up in the next 5 minutes. Mike, yeah, what a ledge. Mate, what a legend. Thank you very much, Mike. Mate, I'll tell you what, I keep saying it, man. I'm really proud of the merch. I'm happy to wear it. I'm happy for you to get it. And I think it was worth the wait. I'm really, really glad that I've waited that long and I put as much work into it because I think it's, of course, I'm going to say it's good because it's my merch, but I'm really, really happy about it. But look, let's go through and see who's playing. So obviously, Lisandro's involved in Argentina. Argentina played yesterday, 5-0 warm-up win over UAE. And Lisandro played 90 minutes. Imagine he comes back as World Cup champion. Jeez. Brazil, Casemiro, Fred, Anthony, and Alex Telles. I mean, there really is a chance that we come back with some World Cup winners. Really is. Christian Eriksen's involved with Denmark. I wish him the absolute best. England. Can England do it? Probably not. Harry Maguire, Marcus Rashford, and Luke Shaw, all involved there. France, you got Rafa. He's not wearing number 4. He's going to be starting, you would absolutely imagine. Netherlands, Tyrell Malacia. I don't think he's going to play too much. Portugal, you got Diogo Dalot and Bruno Fernandes playing. Really excited to see how those two get on. Going down here, you got Tunisia. You got Hannibal. I'll be interested to see how he plays. That'll be his 3rd senior international tournament. And he's really, really young. And then you got Facundo Pellistri going down there with Uruguay. There are quite a few United players at the tournament. I suppose, if Brazil won the World Cup, it would be really good for Manchester United, wouldn't it? Casemiro, Fred, and Anthony. That would be absolutely class. But let's find out. And let's do this, right? But Anthony, you're saying your money's on Argentina. I don't know. Let's find out. And people asking, yeah, you're damn right. I ignore Ronaldo. I can't be bothered to talk about him anymore. But look, let's go to the bit that I think lots of you have been waiting for. I'm looking forward to this one. Right. So this is the World Cup sweepstake. Let me quickly tell you the rules and the regulations. 32 of you have sent your entries in. I've got all of your names added into this sweepstake. It's all completely random. There's no fix as to who gets who. Right. So there's 32 entries and it's £5 each, which is £160. What I've done is I've topped that up to £300 UK sterling. So what I'm going to do here is going to be a few prizes. Number one It's going to be whoever wins the sweepstake gets £200. It's a good prize. I think so anyway. £200. Then there's 4 different spot prizes. Going to be giving £25 to the team that goes out first. So even if you get a crap team and you're part of this World Cup, even if you get a crap team, you might win 25 quid. I'm going to give £25 to the team who has the player with the golden boot at the end of the tournament. Could be anybody. That's a good one. Going to be giving £25 to the team that gets the first red card of the tournament. Could be early, could be later, we don't know. Could be any team. And then £25 goes to the team that gets the most yellow cards throughout the whole tournament. It's going to be good. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be interesting. I'm going to pull this up full screen, and I'm going to hit the live draw button, and all the names are going to come out one by one. So make sure you drop a like on the video. And as a community, let's get this on the road. Live draw. Sweet. I hope this works, by the way. I've got everybody added. As soon as I press live draw, it's going to start. 3, 2, 1. USA. Who gets USA? Mohit, you get USA. Let's go down and scroll in a little bit more. Japan, next out. Joanne, you've got Japan. Look at that, rhymes. Is that Ghana? No, Senegal. Ricky Thompson, you got Senegal. Who's that? That's Ghana. Gregory Okonja, you got Ghana, my friend. Croatia, Anthony Osborne, you got Croatia. Argentina. Oh, Marguerite has got Argentina. Look at that. It's like a bingo caller. Australia? Jake Hardy. Nice one, Jake. You got Australia. England, who got England? Simon Latham, you've got England. Denmark. Gareth Mills, you've got Denmark, my friend. France, who's got France? Connor Bradley, you got France, current holders. Woo! It's a good one. Canada. Madeline, you've got Canada. Brazil. No, that's Iran. Omar Jamil, you got Iran. Thought that was Brazil. Is that Costa Rica? Jeez, did not know Costa Rica's flag. Leston, you've got Costa Rica. Morocco. Liban, you've got Morocco. I'm still in the hat here, people. Who am I getting? Tunisia. Matt Bird, you've got Tunisia. South Korea. Rakesh Pal, you've got South Korea, sir. Ecuador. Jason McCarthy. Who's that? Cameroon. Sorry, Cameroon. Alex Raha, Alex, you got Cameroon. Germany, who gets Germany? Oh, Philip Nolan, you got Germany. That's Qatar. Teresa, you got Qatar. You never know, you might get a 25 quid. Don't think it's too bad. Spain. Andy Weatherall, you got Spain. Cheeky. Like that one. Saudi Arabia. Look. Oh, that's hilarious. Alex, you got Saudi Arabia. Oh, Richard Flynn, you got Wales. Serbia. Haywell Vegas, you got Serbia. I'm still in the hat here. Who's Belgium? Ian, you got Belgium. Oh, that's a decent enough draw. Brazil's still in here. Uruguay. Bao, you got Uruguay. Brazil's still in the hat. There's Brazil. I swear on my life, people. I swear on my life, this is completely random. You're going to call this a fix. You're going to call this a fix. I swear this is random. Rory, you got Netherlands. Neil, you got Portugal. Well, you got Portugal. Tony Britton, you got Switzerland. And Kirk Bray. Oh, my God. I can't believe that has happened. What are the odds of that? I don't know what the odds are. 1 in 32, I suppose. That is incredible. I want to thank Oh, wow. I can't believe that's just happened. I really, really don't. Well, I'll tell you what. If I win, there you go. Right? If I win this tournament, that's going to be one of the giveaways in the advent calendar. There you go. But I've got Brazil. Oh, who got Argentina? I reckon Argentina are going to do well. Let's go back up. Alex got Alex got Saudi Arabia. That's hilarious. Madhouse is a good comment there. Sam. Yeah, me and Tony go way back. And that was good fun, man. I enjoyed that. There should really be a steward inquiry down there. But look, who got Argentina? Let's go back through. Philip Nolan, you got Germany. Should be quite happy with that. Germany always do well. Connor Bradley, you've got France, current champions. Margarita, you got Argentina. It's a good draw. But Jonathan, you say there, look, if you win, give some merch to the runner-up. No, what I'll do, if Brazil win the tournament, right, I'm going to do, if Brazil win the tournament, the 24th of December giveaway on this channel is going to be that £200. If I win that tournament, I'm going to do that as a giveaway, all right? That's what I'll do. That was good fun. Make sure you go over to the community chat on Telegram, and I'll put the full list of who got what, right? But that was fun. I can't believe that. How did I get Brazil? That is absolutely balmy. That was good fun. But look, it's the World Cup coming up, man. It's well, this Ronaldo situation has meant that we haven't had the opportunity to really, I suppose, get excited about the World Cup, and I haven't really got excited about the World Cup. I don't like the fact that it's in. I don't like the fact it's in Qatar. No one does. I'm sure you've seen all the fans in quotation marks. But look, it's coming up on Sunday. Let's find out what happens. Big up to every single one of you who entered the sweepstake. That was good fun. There's prizes to be won everywhere. I was about to sing the Funhouse theme tune, but I didn't there. I got Brazil. I still can't believe I got Brazil. That really is quite funny. But look, thank you very much for joining in today. I've enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it. We've spoken about the Ronaldo situation. I won't be here tomorrow. I'm going to be away. So there won't be a live stream tomorrow. There will be a video going out tomorrow. And if I can get it done, I'll bring the video out on Saturday as well. But I can see down there you're talking about the map. I'm going to nip the map in the bud. In the bud? Anyway, I've got quite a lot of stuff to get done here today because I won't be here for the next 3 days. So thank you very much for joining in today. I apologize I'm not doing the map today. We'll bring that back next week. All right. But thank you very much for joining in. Thank you everyone who went to the sweepstake. That was hilarious. I can't believe I got Brazil. That's funny. As I said, if Brazil win, I'm going to give away those winnings during the Advent calendar giveaway here on United People's TV. So thank you very much. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. I'll see you soon.